Hi again, everyone, and welcome back to the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage YouTube channel. I thought I would discuss with all of you today, as I have been winding up, or well, I think so. We'll find out. The overhaul of the white Model 568. And when I was last speaking about this machine, I think I was talking to you about if you've ever got a broken needle, do not run your machine. Just stop everything you're doing, unplug it, and you'll want to, of course, to go. You're going to start looking for where the rest of that needle went. It could be stuck in a piece of fabric. It could be in the bottom of your tray, or in the. Sometimes there's a panel if your machine is in a sewing table. There's a panel underneath, or it could be on the floor of your sewing room. It can also be, as I mentioned in that video, it can also be in the workings of your sewing machine in the shuttle area down below. Please see that video for making sure you thoroughly check your machine, because pieces of needle, they get caught in a machine, can cause serious damage, and that's the last thing that you want. If all you have from a broken needle is a damaged needle, you're going to be okay, and so is your machine. So I thought I would show you what I would do, what I am going to do, to get the remnant of my needle out, the little piece that's left. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I cover this big area here, because what I basically did was I had removed the needle plate, and of course the bobbin plate on this model is sort of hinged. It's all one piece here, and I had taken it off to clean. I took my my cotton swabs, and I cleaned in here and made sure I had no lint in my feed dogs. And then I'm going to put this back, because while it's not going to block everything, it can certainly help to prevent I don't know if the needle shaft that's left in this machine, it should be one piece, but I don't like making those kinds of assumptions, and it's one of those things that's an ounce of prevention type of thing. And what we'll do is I was going to put this back anyway, right? I was done with cleaning under here in the feed dog area. The reason that this is an area that you probably will see, or will have seen instructions in your manual if you have one, for cleaning lint from your feed dogs. That's just one of the things, just like the grass on your lawn grows, you're going to need to periodically clean that, because your machine it's like mulch under a lawnmower. Best way I know to describe it. Okay, so what I'd like to do here is I'm going to go ahead and show you something else while we're at it. So you should be able to see the needle shaft. Now I've still got the hole where the needle normally goes under, so I thought about putting tape, but I'll just put a piece of piece of paper here just to make sure. And then what's the next thing I need to do? Well, I don't know if you remember, but I was going to loosen the needle before, and the needle clamp, this thumb screw here, was really, really tight. So I have applied some of my valve oil. That's the very fine machine oil with a little bit of solvent in it. And I basically let it soak. I let it soak overnight. And so what I need to do now is get that loose. And I think, because I'm going to try, I've got a very sort of a small pair of needle nose pliers. I don't need anything heavy or massive here. But, most pliers have a textured, surface. You can see it right there. And if you grab a hold of this, you've got to be careful anyway, but you definitely do not want to grab a hold of it just with the bare pliers. The pliers can get this to move, but you can end up scratching this lovely nickel-plated or chrome-plated piece unnecessarily. Okay, so I'm just going to basically put this as an old piece of fabric I was using. Let's put it actually this direction. And I'm just using it like a little cover. Think of it like an oven mitt, but for your your needle clamp thumb screw. I'm just going to tilt it down and get it to see if I got it to turn. Make sure I have my paper there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, yep, that did it. So again, that's just a little trick. And there it goes. Now, it looks like I just have this. I looked and searched. I don't think I ever actually found the rest of the needle. It could be that it got thrown away by a former user. Again, with vintage machines, you often get them without knowing much of anything of their condition. You look at it, you turn the hand wheel, needle bar moves, and maybe it's a porch pickup. Getting vintage sewing machines from people is not always a straightforward task, and you don't always have the luxury of trying them out. Now, when I have clients come to look at the machines I have restored, I have woken them up for a new lifetime of sewing, I always allow people to try them out. I want them to. I want them to make sure it's a good machine for them and that they can see that it's operating. That way they feel better about purchasing something than, just something that somebody left on their porch and wants $50 for, and you don't know. I often am, when I'm the buyer or the rescuer, as I like to think of myself, you just never know. So anyway, let's see what we have here. And there it is. This is the remnant of a needle that got broken off. And again, I went over in the last video any number of reasons, things that could have caused that to happen. Now, one of the things, and obviously I'll be installing a new needle here into this machine before I'm ready to test stitch with it. And so again, we don't know. I have not seen any more needle fragments here. What I will need to do when I put my new needle in, I will need to actually, before I start sewing with it, I'm going to start moving. I'm turning the hand wheel with my hand. I'm just going to be going very slowly with that needle up and down, and I'll demonstrate that for you as we get closer to the debut, hopefully, of this machine soon. Because you always want to, especially with a broken needle or anything that's not right, quite feeling right about your machine, when you put a new needle in, just manually turn and just test it. See how the needle goes down. The feed dogs are moving fine, but you want to make sure that the needle, there's no obstruction, right? That there's nothing that's warped. There shouldn't be. Make sure that it's not hitting the hook or anything, because I really don't know why this needle that snapped, we don't know why. It could be for many of the reasons I shared with you all last time. It could be, again, somebody just tried to bite off more than the machine could chew when it came to fabric. It could have been too dense of fabric. Or it could be that something down below in the shuttle area got loosened and was not aligned properly, and when the needle came down, the needle did not have its normal place to go. I don't know. All I know is it's always good to be extra cautious and careful. Just go with intention. You don't have to be afraid of it, but don't go crazy and say, "Oh, I got a new needle in. Let's hit the gas and go." I don't do that, especially when I see a broken needle. And even if you don't have a broken needle, this is still, it's still something you really should just investigate. Always look at your machine when you first get it. You have no idea. You can find thread nests. You never know what you're going to find when you're dealing with something. And it's kind of interesting that these machines can be, I say quote unquote, they can be forgiving in spite of the strange journeys they've had, many of them, in the process of investigating these machines and waking them up after many decades sometimes of slumber. You can sometimes start to see some of the odd histories of the machine, and it's just a miracle that they work at all. I'm always even more impressed with the quality and engineering that went into them back in the day. Thank you all for watching, and I never know how many videos I'm going to make on this particular machine, but this one was a rich vein of videos because as you know, I have been investigating things, although I've restored white machines of this era many times. This particular clutch assembly for the bobbin winder was new for me anyway, And if it was new for you, I hope that was helpful. Thank you all for supporting the channel, and we will see you in the next video.